All right. Well, Brian Lawton here with two of my friends, Jake Gildmeister and Elena Schleissner. How are you guys?
Good,
Good.
Brian. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for being here. We're talking about Whitewater Cinemas, your passion project, a business that you bought just over a year ago. And what we're doing is having these small business conversations about kind of the era of COVID and how it's affecting people. It affects everybody differently. And certainly appreciative of having you both on to talk about Whitewater Cinemas in Whitewater, Wisconsin, and kind of what it's been like for you guys. I mean, you've only owned it a year, and then you're thrust into a world you couldn't have predicted. So we appreciate what we're about to hear from you, and I'm looking forward to it. How's it going right now in general with your adjustment to new life?
It's been definitely interesting with the whole COVID stuff. Everything started in the beginning of March. We started to notice, we had some big movies that just weren't seeing the attendance that we thought they'd be. And we didn't really put the pieces together. And as news started to come out more and more, we started to figure it out. We're like, okay, this is becoming more and more serious than we had anticipated. And it got to the point to where, before all the safer at home and all the bans and stuff, we decided to close down on a Tuesday, one of our busiest days, typically. And we had, I think, like 10 people through the door on that Tuesday. And we decided, you know what, today will be our last day. We'll close, we'll shut down until the beginning of April, which that since changed as well to be the end of April. And we've kind of used this time to find some positives and some opportunities. We're painting, we're bringing in some new stuff. We're trying to implement new things, hopefully a bunch of surprises for when we open back up for the public. But yeah, it's been an interesting ride of it all so far. That's for sure.
Right. So you're in Whitewater, Wisconsin, which is a university town as well. And are like, what would you say your typical client is? Do you get a lot of students, or is it more just the Whitewater community, which is a community of maybe about 12,000 folks, right?
Yeah, right around there. And it's interesting, really. We thought that a lot of our people would be college students, but it turns out that the families and the community are the ones that come out to the movies the most. The college kids, of course, come out for the, Avengers, the superhero movies. And we get absolutely slammed for that. But when we have that family movie, it's the families and the communities that really come out, and we see them, week after week, month after month for all the box office releases. And so with it being a college town, we don't think that we're going to have too big of an impact when everything kind of blows over. And the college is completely left for the rest of the semester. So if things come to an end in a month or two, we might return to a little bit of a normalcy. But for the town of Whitewater, it's going to be a completely different subject, really, because there's no college kids, which is the school hosts it's 10,000 students, I think, this year. And with most of them gone because they're all in dorms and the dorms are shut down, it's going to be interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah, and there's definitely an older population too in Whitewater that comes out to the movies and comes out to all the other businesses too. So I definitely think that will be an audience that'll be slower to come back just because, fear of, safety.
Yeah, I think that's a message I keep hearing is like, we went through the waves of this, which, just keeping everybody healthy and safe. And then all the logistical stuff like closing your theater and cleaning it, according to all the guidelines now, and then getting used to working at home and social distancing. And now we have this emotional wave that I think is catching up with people now that we're about 2.5 weeks in or whatever. Of what do I do? How do I operate? What's my new routine? I'm at home with, you got a dog there. I've got a dog. I hope he's not making too much noise. And I think what I heard you say, Elena, and it's a good point, is that we can't predict when it's going to have an end date, right? The health concern will end, whether it's 3 months from now, 8 months from now, 4 weeks from now, whatever it is, it has an end date. But that doesn't mean that the next day we're back as normal.
Yep.
So I heard Jake say, we're going to reopen and we're going to look a little bit different. We're thinking of new things. We're working on the business. And I heard you say, Elena, you know, who are the people that are going to start showing up to theaters and restaurants and these things after we've been, you know, conditioned to be socially distant. And you guys have a unique business, I think, because you also have the movie houses that are in control of what you show and when you show it, right? And so what are those sorts of impacts? What are you sort of thinking about people coming back to theaters? And then what are you hearing from like even the big movie houses that are saying, here's actually when you're going to get to do this again?
Yeah, I think that a lot of the studios, because they're not just serving us, I mean, they're serving the theaters across the country. And there are a lot of other places that have been hit a lot harder than us. And so they're looking at their numbers in terms of, you know, not just, you know, who's going to show up in Whitewater, Wisconsin, but who's going to show up in Chicago and Washington and all these other places. So a lot of the movies haven't been pushed out through April and May. They've been pushed out to June, to the summer. Some movies have been pushed to 2021. So we're really kind of looking at a total change in the industry, at least for a couple of months, because we won't have new movies. We won't have any big movies. So we've definitely been looking at some more creative ways to serve our community. You know, Whitewater might open back up to normal capacity a little bit earlier than other places. So we're looking at, you know, can we do outdoor movies? Can we do old movies like reruns of Back to the Future or Jurassic Park? So, you know, it's definitely going to be different, but we're still going to try to serve our community in whatever way that we can.
So what sorts of things are you working on right now? Jake, you mentioned maybe just remodeling and renovation and kind of giving it the theater a freshening sort of thing, or what sorts of things are you doing spending your time now?
So right now the big thing has been paint, getting new paint on the walls. I don't think it's been kind of freshened up for about 10 years now. So everything's kind of, you know, seen its wear and tear. So we're just, I came in, you know, freshened up all the walls, all the dings, scratches. After a while, those all kind of add up, and just bringing some modern colors in.
Yeah.
So we've changed our colors, and people on Facebook have been, I mean, engaging like crazy to see what we're doing. And so we're bringing, you know, it used to be this purple that almost like this shirt, the purple and white. And so it was kind of very, very drastic. So now we've kind of toned it down, and we've brought in a dark gray and kind of a darker red, a theater red almost. And so it's going to be a completely new look. We just had everything, all the floors washed yesterday, actually. So all the carpets look almost brand new. And yeah, so we're thinking about bringing in more stuff. Some kitchen equipment is on the docket. And I mean, depending on how long everything goes, we might even continue the remodels, step into the bathroom and do both the bathrooms. So it's really going to be a newer and a fresher feel when you come in. And we're really, really excited about it.
Yeah, that is exciting to be able to work on the business that way and just kind of you're forced to close. So yeah, that's a good feeling. But you are, you know, as a small business, then you're sort of watching the dollars as well. Yeah. So now you're spending, you know, without any revenue, and you have employees too. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so a lot of our employees are either high school or college students. So actually a lot of them went home. But for the ones who are here, you know, it is hard. We're completely closed. We're not selling anything at all. And so we've been trying to still keep them employed in whatever way we can. We've been offering, you know, deep cleaning of our theaters, helping with painting. And so we have had a couple employees take us up on that offer, which is good. But, you know, for the next month, we're going to try to keep them getting some hours in whatever way that we can.
We just have little odds and ends that need to be done. And whether it's, you know, preparing to paint, and we got to move everything from the lobby into an auditorium and then move it back. I mean, it's tedious stuff and it's kind of a pain in the butt, but it's just something to get a paycheck going out every week to somebody so that, you know, they're not worrying about rent and all that. So just trying to help out as much as we can.
Yeah. What else are you doing to spend your day related to it? I mean, have you navigated through the SBA process and entered into that as well?
Yep. So we recently the original SBA process that was out was a very grueling task, it seemed, almost a mountain to climb.
Right.
And so we recently on Monday, for any other small business owners that aren't aware, on Monday they created a new streamlined process. Takes about 5 minutes to fill out, and they'll come back to you for any more information that they need. And so we kind of got together with a group of other Whitewater business owners and, really pushed it out there and to say, hey guys, we all kind of should get this done. If you need it, you can accept it. If you don't need it, no worries. But yeah, doing that to try and figure out what, how long will this last? What are we going to need to get through it all? Has been one thing. And then thinking of new things when we open to offer, for example, the kitchen stuff, new food stuff, just trying to plan out new things, new offerings for the community, really.
Yeah, and I think that one thing that a lot of small businesses are noticing right now is just the adjustment period of, when you're a small business owner, you're not just the CEO, but you're the HR department, you're the finance department, you're marketing, you're all those other things. And so when you're in normal operations, you get really comfortable with, okay, this is when the schedule goes out. This is how I do my paycheck or my payroll. This is how I, advertise for a certain deal. And now we're kind of in this uncharted territory of, if we're the finance department, how are we supposed to apply for loans, or how do we deal with employees who are furloughed or whatever? And I think that's been one of the biggest adjustments of kind of redetermining what our roles are and taking on a lot more different responsibilities when there's not really a roadmap for us.
Yeah, that's a great point. What sort of fears are you having? Do you find yourself worrying a little bit?
I think the biggest worry right now is more of when everything comes back to a normal, to see what the studios end up deciding. Because again, we're not like a restaurant. We can't make our own deals to a certain extent. We have to, if there's no movies to show, there's no movies to show. So we have to see kind of what they're going to do. Disney, Sony, Warner Brothers, the big contenders in the space, they're going to dictate what happens, really. And we just have to roll with the punches. So Sony has changed their summer release schedule to be in 2021. Disney's thinking about taking some movies completely out of the box office and just going to streaming, depending on how long everything lasts. So we're just going to have to see what happens, really.
Wow. I mean, that is, you've got to, like you're saying, you got to really get creative. And you both are sort of saying that and envisioning that the new way forward in your theater, because that's quite a variable on top of COVID, man, you don't think about those sorts of things. The fact that they can just take it to a streaming level and possibly still get their viewership or their money. That's a different experience. So talk to me about ways you reached out to the other Whitewater businesses, you said, and kind of worked together through the SBA process as it changed and then became easier, and now they have a new plan, that we can start tomorrow, I believe, as well. So, you're coming together, you're providing value to a local community like that, which I think is one of the silver linings in this experience. What other silver linings do you guys see right now as a result of this experience?
I think more than anything, our community has definitely shown their support through it all. Not just the other small business owners, but just the people in the community. Every time that we post a new update, I mean, we're getting, tens of, sometimes hundreds of comments and shares on things, just stating that they're thankful for us, saying that they're going to come back out and support us when it's all over. So that's definitely made us feel connected. It's kind of weird seeing, our parking lots empty and our theaters empty, but, having all those people just showing their support over the internet has definitely made us, kind of feel connected again.
Yeah,
it makes you,
oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, it makes you understand that you had something of value that you were delivering to that community. Mm-hmm. That's great that they're supporting that way. It's important.
Yeah. Talking to the other business owners too, I mean, we're all fairly connected. You know, we'll talk about business and what's going on in the community. And it is great, you know, hearing from them that, you know, while their doors are closed, and a lot of the restaurants, you know, they're doing delivery, or they're being extremely creative with what they can do and what they can offer. And the community is right there to accept it. Any deal or anything that they come up with, the community's there, you know, just trying to help them pay their employees, help them, you know, pay their mortgages, all that stuff. And it's really a great thing to see, you know, and it's great to hear from another business owner saying, you know, they love the community and the community is doing everything they can to help support them. So definitely the community's helped out a lot.
That's awesome. What can the community do, you know, for you guys? Or you said you're not obviously doing much of anything as far as business. Are you selling gift cards online? Are you doing something like that? Is that a way that they can reach out and support you as well?
Yes, we do have gift cards for sale, and you can call us. I can provide our phone number, but you can call in and order gift cards over the phone, and we'll mail them to you. Other than that, just following us along on Facebook and Instagram. We're kind of posting some behind the scenes of our updates and keeping everybody involved that way. But, you know, we just love hearing everybody's ideas and kind of showing off our space so that people can still stay connected for when we reopen.
That's awesome. Any other observations or comments or anything that you want to share about Whitewater Cinemas?
We're just very excited to open back up with all the new things that we're going to have. We're hoping everything, you know, lines up in place and there's not any hiccups created on the back end, so that when we do open up, we can provide everything that we're, you know, hoping that we can bring. So we're pretty excited for that.
Yeah, and we're very thankful for our community and everybody who supported us during this time. That's
awesome. It's been that's what I've seen too. The communities have really come together, and because we are all in this together, and it's important, as you just said, Elena, to stay connected despite our social distancing, and, you know, engaging with each other in all the ways that we're able to is important. It makes small business owners feel like the product they have has been valuable, and it gives them a motivation, I think, to continue and carry on. So I super appreciate you guys doing this with me today, and hopefully Whitewater Cinemas has a long and happy future ahead of it. It will. You guys are great, and you're doing great work, and it sounds like you've really done a good job transitioning and repurposing the time, which is what you got to do. You got to stick to the positivity. So I love it, and I wish you guys well.
Thank you very much, Brian. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, you're welcome. Take care.
Yeah, you as well.